Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Welcome to another episode of Quantum Witch Cafe tonight. And, season 2 has been all paranormal and vampires. And that is the theme until the end of the year. But tonight, we have a criminologist, psychic medium named Crystal Corl on. She's also like a witchy sister. We've known each other for a very long time. And she is doing a lot of exciting solo things. So, Crystal, I like to have my guests introduce themselves. But before I do that, I'm going to say hello to Jennifer, Kat, and Sylvain in the live chat. And thank you to anybody listening now or later. And give me a like and subscribe. I know people are way more smooth about that, but just like my stuff, share it, all the things. Crystal, who are you? What do you do? And why are you doing it?
Who am I?
Hi, Paranormal.
Who am I? That's funny. So,
I'm gonna let you answer that.
Every day I ask myself that when I wake up. It's funny. So, hey everybody, my name is Crystal Corl. Yes, I am a psychic medium, but I'm also a criminologist and a private investigator. I specialize in missing children and on unsolved homicide cases. So, yes, I also deal with human trafficking as well, but my specialty alone is missing children and missing and exploited children specifically, and homicides. So, yeah, I have that. And I have a true crime podcast called The Visitation, where I also dive into cold cases more in depth. And I get to teach you and my listeners more about the criminal mind. And aside from that, I have another, I guess it's like the other half of The Visitation. It's called What's Up Danger. And it basically arms my listeners on how to protect themselves from everyday dangers. So I get to teach that on my podcast. So go ahead and take a listen to that, to wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. That is what I have to say about myself. But aside from that, I am a mother of 2 young children. I'm also a wife. I'm a military wife. My husband is in the Marine Corps. I've known Priscilla for what? Oh my God, a long time.
I don't even know.
I don't know. I think it's like before our firstborns were.
Yeah, born. It was. So Arden is 6.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that I was pregnant when I met you.
No,
so
yeah.
Probably like 7 years or so.
Yeah, it's been a very long time. So aside from that, I have that going on, and I'm currently in the state of Texas. So I'm on the mission right now. I'm changing some state laws here in Texas. I'm changing the laws to the age of consent to 18 to protect the youth from. There are a lot of like messed up laws when it comes to sex offenders and predatory behaviors. So that's what I have going on over here. But yeah, also I live in a haunted house.
Right. So we will definitely get into that.
Yeah. So
she's also an activist, guys, protecting the youth from disgusting people.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, she's so witchy. But I'm like, it's so funny. Yes, I am a mom, but now I'm like everybody's mother. Like all of these are my children kind of deal.
Yeah. Yep. Once you have kids, I feel like something clicks in you and you just not take care of everybody, but the right people. Like there was the girl at the Halloween store and she like reminded of me when I was little, like when I was like in high school or something, and she's like, I'm hungry. I didn't eat all day. And I was like, oh, well, you should at least get like a protein shake. There's these shit. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like totally like mothering her.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I started specializing in my field before I had kids. In my specialty, I literally had, before I had even the idea that I wanted kids. So I became everybody's mom. It's funny because before this, I was a news journalist. That was kind of like my start of my passion. And then I transitioned. I felt like a higher calling to do something else. Spirit was like, you needed up the game. And I remember talking to my guides. I had said, well, if you want me to do this next step, you're going to help me get full right. Like everything paid for because graduate school is expensive. And also I want to make sure that I'm a rock star. And yeah, school was entirely paid for. And I graduated with a 4.0 on the dean's list of my master's. So I'm really proud about that.
You should be. School is not easy, and I
No.
met you when you were doing that. You were just always doing work for school, so that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Yeah. So, how do you tie in? Okay, so tell everybody before we do that. Tell everybody what a psychic medium is, and then tell me how that ties into, criminology and that sort of thing.
So a lot of people have different opinions about psychic mediums, and a lot of people will give you like various definitions about psychic mediums. To me personally, it's like a bridge between you. Basically, you're the middleman. So you are the medium, like the middleman of between real world spirit, like our world, into spirit world. So you're just a medium speaker. So they use you to connect to their loved ones here on the other side. And that's what I do. How do I use it in my real world and like in my job? Well, the spirits who have passed on, for example, one of the cases that I have used multiple times, well, everything's all about hard facts. So they'll tell me so and so killed me. It's like, okay, well, I can't go up to the cop and be like, hey, I know who did it when there's no body. So we have to go through legal stuff. So I start researching, they'll give me clues, they'll point into the right direction, and then we'll get things going. That's what I do.
That's awesome. So, and very interesting. You are able to help people cross over that are stuck here, right? So somebody dies and their spirit becomes earthbound. Or so that's another question, the types of spirits, right? Because we are on like that time of year, like everybody's like, things feel weird. I'm like, it's October. Of course it feels weird, but then I'm like, you can't say that to like a normal person that's starting to feel it. Like, well, listen, I'm going to tell you what's going on. The veil between the worlds is thinning right now.
I know.
And then you're like, Halloween. So now I just like think I'm funny. I'm like, 'tis the season. And they're like, what? I just saw my dead grandpa like tucking my kids in. And I'm like, 'tis the season.
Yeah,
so
it's really crazy.
Is there a difference, I guess? What types of spirits do you encounter? Let's do that. Let's do that first. What types of spirits do you encounter? So there is, a lot, and this is another one that the terminology varies depending on who you talk to, but we're not going to worry about them. There's, what types of spirits. So you go into a haunted house, what types of spirits are there? Is there like, is there a difference between earthbound and ghost versus residual energy versus something completely different where you're like, okay, we're going to need a demonologist or an alien person to come in, like, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Sorry. Bandit's underneath my foot.
Or dogs.
Yeah. Bandit fell asleep. Yes. So crazy. I have learned while living in this haunted house, and I say haunted lightly. Well, I say haunted to like the normies, like, oh, it's haunted. To me, I call it active, like it's an active house. Like it's alive. So what I have learned in my house per se, I have 3 spirits in my house. It's Mr. and Mrs. Jennings, and then Robbie. Robbie is Mr. and Mrs. Jennings' son. Robbie passed away in my my bedroom, which is like the master bedroom. He passed away there from cancer when he was in his mid 30s. And then George passed away like old age, and so did Mrs. Jennings from old age. But they came back to this house because they loved it so much. Like this house is like their heaven. George, like Mr. Jennings, like he built all these cabinets in like every think. He created this house for his wife. It's a very loving space. So, like it's a very loving home. It's not scary. It's not harmful. It's just like a very loving house. So, I'm okay with like the 3 spirits that live in my home because it's not scary. It's not active. They chose to stay here because it's just like where they feel this is their form of heaven. So that's one. That's what I have learned. And they can decide where they want to go and visit their loved ones as well. Like, how people like some spirits do stay in their cemetery because they love their like the location. They find like tranquility in that area. Same thing with like a house. And what I learned is that Mrs. Jennings, like she never had a house, like her own house to herself. So when they found this house, she was about like in her 30s. She was actually my age when I moved into this house. She finally felt like at home. And so she just said, like, this is my home. Like this finally, I feel like this is my home. And it's funny because when we moved into this house, I had told Jake, like, this is our home. Like we can finally stay still and not move anywhere. So it's really weird.
That's beautiful. And if you're not military, that might not make sense to you, or you don't have a job that makes you travel a lot. But find it like military wives and families will always talk about like their forever home.
Yeah.
Because like we move so much, and it sucks because you'll fall in love with multiple places. And later on you have to find that home. So I would just wanted to clarify for people why that would be special to you to finally find your home, because people are happy when they find their forever home no matter what. But when you move all the time, it's just, I would imagine, kind of nice to just know that that's yours and you're going to be there.
It's like a different appreciation for like something that you have that it's like yours and it's not going to go anywhere. So that's like how I felt. And I'm sure that's how she felt. So, and it's funny because she was a military spouse as well, which is so ironic.
Right.
So that's one. But I found like other spirits, like I've gone to other houses where it's just like a residual energy. So it's like old energy that continues to play in a loop, constant loop. So it's like, that's residual energy. And then there are spirits that just don't want to go, and they can be negative and they just be like, no, I'm fine here. Like, leave me alone. So I've encountered mean spirits at the graveyards. Yeah.
Grumpy old ghosts at the graveyard.
Did I tell you?
Just go.
No, did I tell you? I don't know if I remember I told you. I went to hanging out with Jenny the medium, in Dallas. We went to a graveyard, and it was broad daylight too. I think it was in the morning. And this man, who's dead, by the way, this man, like I was walking and he just popped out, scared the daylights out of me because he reminded me of seeing, remember of Ghosts, where like that subway guy comes out and he's like, ah, yeah. So he pops out, scares the heck out of me. And he's all like, no, I don't want any of you here. No. And I was like, what? I just wanted to read. I felt like, honestly, I wanted to read his gravestone. Like, I just wanted to read his like stone. Didn't want to communicate with him. Just wanted to read his stone. And he yelled at me like, no, go away. Go away.
I'd be there doing a grave ribbon. I'm just kidding. No, you gotta respect them. Oh, you don't like that with a crayon? Just like how?
Right. It was crazy. I've never had that before. I felt like I was like, he was an older he was probably like in his 50s. And I felt like I was a child, like getting yelled at. And I told Jenny, I was like, I told Jenny, I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I was like, I feel like I'm 7 and I just got yelled at for like, like stepping on somebody's grass.
Oh my God. Yeah. Get off the lawn.
Yes. And I'm just trying, like, my foot just steps sideways. Yeah. That's like,
Oh my
I
gosh.
felt so embarrassed. I know, like, there was nobody at the gravesite. I felt so embarrassed. I actually wanted to cry. And I was like, I don't want to be here anymore.
It's so funny, like, how they're like that. Hi, Marilyn. Oh my gosh, Marilyn. Like, I met Marilyn in Arizona, and then she went there with her spouse at the time, was Army, her Army spouse at the time, and it was just weird because we met in Arizona, and then she went to Alaska too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Goth Bosh, you always make it fun. It's good to see you again. Hello, Carolina and Laura, Marilyn, and I said hi to all the rest of you already, but hello, thank you for being here again. And yeah, so cemeteries. I love cemeteries. It sounds super weird, but I'm doing a field trip for myself this week and going to Westminster Cemetery here in Baltimore to go see our friend Edgar Allan Poe. And we always joke about Baltimore, don't we?
Yeah.
Because he died here. But it's not funny that he died here. But yeah, I need to go
just a little bit.
Just a little bit funny because I mean, like I joke that like when I'm having a bad day, I'm like I don't like air in Baltimore, and then she'll be like, "Well, now you know why Edgar Allan Poe just dropped dead in a ditch because he went to Baltimore." It's horrible. Horrible.
Is it too soon?
I think it's too soon. We gotta wait another 2 centuries.
Okay.
But they're like cemeteries are super peaceful places. There's one up the road from the kids' school, and I've been going there to like write. I know that sounds weird, but it's super peaceful.
Yeah, it can't be peaceful, and there are certain peaceful like cemeteries that actually a lot of spirits do find comfort just staying there. It's really weird. I mean, like, to each their own, you know. It's like a choice. I found like when we pass, we have a decision. Everything's free will. Like we have a decision to cross and we have a decision to stay. And some people do stay because they're still want to watch over their loved ones here.
Sorry, I'm gonna be like, say bye. Unless hell's real. Unless hell's real, and I'm like, oh shit. Just kidding.
Really? No, but like
I don't know, man. My mind's a little twisty these days. All right. Anyways, so you live in a haunted house, but you also don't mind bringing additional ghosts home with you in the form of haunted things, right?
Yes.
So do you have her?
Have who? I have a lot of stuff in my office.
Do you have the haunted doll?
Which one?
Oh, you got more than one?
Well, yeah.
You only told me about one. Or you only talk about one.
Well, Molly's kind of dormant. She's in the entryway right now.
Okay, and so tell me, like, most people will like avoid shit like that. And you're like,
weak. I'm just kidding.
Hell is horrible.
This is why Jake like really, really puts up with me. Like,
oh yeah, this is why my husband left for 6 months because that was a voluntary deployment, guys. He's just.
Oh, did I tell you that the CEO's been calling Jake about voluntary deployments? And I was like, that's cute. That's cute. Cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but like I'm trying. Bandit, I don't want to move you, bro. I'm like itchy.
So Bandit, if you're listening to audio only,
so Bandit is my stray dog, is my
rescue dog.
So yes, Bandit is my rescue dog. I actually rescued Bandit from the shelter. He will be in about 2 more days. He will be 6 months old. Yeah, I got him when he was about 4 months old. And I got him when my dog had passed away. Chance passed away. It'll be 2 months in Halloween. On Halloween, it would be 2 months.
Oh.
I know. So, of course, it's been like a really emotional roller coaster. And it's funny because when I rescued Chance was a stray, but I had a dream about, it's really weird. Like I had a dream that Chance visited me and he showed me the exact dog that I would be rescuing. And I was like, you know what? I can't take on another dog that looks just like you. I just can't. And he had said, he goes, you will, he's like, I promise you, you have to take on this dog and you'll know when you see him, when it's time. And I forgot what day it was, but I was looking online just randomly and I saw this dog on this animal shelter page locally. And I was originally going to go for another dog. And then I had called the animal shelter and I was like, hey, I'm interested in this other dog, yada, yada, yada. And she's like, well, I know you're interested in this dog, but you should really see, I forgot what his name was. This other dog, he just came in about 2 days ago. And it's crazy though, because 2 days prior, his brought in date was when Chance was already crossed over to the Rainbow Bridge. But I thought it was so weird. And I said, I don't know. And I was just only looking, like I wasn't going to adopt anybody. Like I was just only looking. And so she had sent me the picture of the dog. And I didn't talk to you, Priscilla. And I said, and I looked at the picture and I was like, holy shit.
Yep. I definitely got a call.
Just like, it looks just like the the image that Chance showed me in my dream. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot, like, this is too much.
Yeah.
And this was so weird. When I drove to the animal shelter, the time that I arrived at the animal shelter was 1:11 p.m. When I woke up from my dream, after I had a dream about Chance and, you know, the whole like communication, the visitation, the time that I woke up was 1:11 a.m. So I was like flipping out. I was like, holy cow, this is crazy. So I go in and I'm talking to the receptionist and he's like, yeah, you can go in and check out the dog. And I don't even go in to check out the dog. I'm literally right out the window because I'm so scared to go in to look at this dog. And I finally take a deep breath and I go in and I had the kids with me and they let Bandit out, and Bandit is all like, you know, meeting the kids. It all goes really well until Bandit looks right at me and Bandit jumps on my lap, and it's like, it was instant connection. It was like I had found the dog. It's like Bandit had found me. It's like if I lost Bandit and I found him. It was so crazy. It was an instant connection. And it was really weird because when I brought him home, there was no readjusting to anything. It was like he already knew where everything was. He knew. Landshark took to him. My other dog took to him really well. I have a cat. He's kind of a butthole. So like, it is what it is. But now like Donnie gets along really well with Bandit. So it was really weird. So when my husband came home, my husband kept saying like, it's really odd how easily Bandit adapted really well to the family. It's like he's been a part of our lives this entire time. And I'm like, yeah. And it was so funny when Priscilla had that psychic medium, the pet medium on her show. I mean, I was there like crying my eyes out. He had mentioned about how your past pet can teach and train your new pet, all that stuff. It's so crazy because everything that Bandit does is exactly what Chance used to do, all the good and bad habits. So wild.
That's crazy. Yeah, because I remember you had to put your other dog down, and I was like, this is crazy because the day you're supposed to put him down was the original date to take him to the doctor. So, but then it got moved and then he passed. So it was that guy was really good, guys. If you're interested in pet mediumship, go check out that episode. But yeah, so pets linger with us for a while. Is he still around, or does he kind of like hop in and out now, or is he just like, okay, my job's done and he leaves, or is he like going to stay as like some sort of guardian spirit? Like, what is he doing now?
So every time Jake leaves, it's so funny you say that, because every time when Jake leaves, like out, I will always see Chance all the time. I will always see him around the house. It's every time Jake leaves, I will always see him in the house.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or I'll always hear him like around the house.
He can relate to Bandit. And then Laura says they can reincarnate to be with us too. Very interesting. I never really think about it. I don't get a lot of animals. I just think like losing them is super hard. So I try to just not have them, like my snake passed, and I'm just like, okay, I don't want anything for a while, because I'm not trying to have any feeling for some animal now. Yeah, because there's just the way that you get attached to them is super fast, and then next thing you know it, they're gone. So
oh my God, can I get her? I don't know if I can get her. Hey, Jacob, can you get me this doll, please? It's stuck. Just go that way.
Hi, Jake.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so that's the newer one, right?
Well, she's kind of like semi-new.
But that's the second one that you purchased.
Yes.
Okay. So Crystal collects haunted objects. She is holding up a doll right now. How many haunted dolls do you have?
3.
Okay, this makes more sense. All right.
3.
Okay.
3? Yeah. Yeah, because the baby one's down here, but she's pretty dormant.
Because I was like, how do you relate to Bandit? Finding old friends and new friends. So you have 3 haunted dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Which one's your favorite? Do you have a favorite one, or which one is the most active? What have you learned about? Okay, now we're moving on to haunted dolls. Talk about each one and what their personalities are like. This sounds super crazy if you're like here for. I think all the UFO people have abandoned me at this point for this season. They're just what's she doing?
Sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry, UFOs scare me. I'm a medium that like don't do UFOs.
I just went nuts this season. I'm like ghosts and vampires. That's it. That's all I want to hyperfixate on for an entire year.
Yeah. So
all right. So 3 dolls, each one haunted.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the first one you got?
So the least one is the baby doll. She's asleep. No, she really is. Like it's like a little baby doll. She's in her little like baby carriage. The kids play with her, so she's pretty dormant. The reason why she's dormant is because when one of the coworkers that I work with at the shop that I give readings at, they got her at an estate sale, and I haven't really gave her a name. Scarlett gave her a name, and I kind of forgot about it. But her the doll, I guess like the woman who died, and the grandmother and the grandpa both came in with the doll and then told me about the doll and then told me how they died and how they were fine, and then they kind of went off. That was it.
Okay.
So they didn't like chill or anything. So they kind of like went off their way.
Okay. And then
we got Gloria. She is active. I keep her in my office. I did move her from one spot to the other, also because I kind of just she was kind of like, yeah. My mom says that when she comes to visit, she always hears like a freight train. And it's weird though, because when I brought her home, I heard a freight train.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she's kind of active, but like she's very dominant. She's like very like
sassy.
Yeah, she's kind of like the older woman, like.
Oh, okay.
The kids. So Scarlett plays with her, but Scarlett plays with her gently.
She knows.
It's funny because Scarlett will like play with her super gently and like puts her like like, down really gently.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, Molly is a porcelain doll. She is where nobody plays with her.
Why is
So,
that?
yeah. So Molly has her own little chair, and where all my bones are. So she has her own little chair, all my bones are, and she's nice and steady, like seated. So Molly is not active. She's very quiet. She's super content, but she was active when she wasn't in her seat and when she wasn't displayed correctly.
Oh, okay.
I got Molly at at a local estate sale here in the neighborhood. Jake is not happy about it.
Oh, I remember.
She was my first doll. When I brought Molly home, things were happening. The babysitter kept thinking that somebody was staring at her. Because Molly would shift. Like you would sit, like put her down, and then she would shift. So like it was just random stuff. So after I felt like she just needed to be like respected, because I always felt like it was very a childlike kind of like energy. So I got her a nice seat and an area where she can be respected, and I had some like other crystals around her so she can't really like leave her spot. So she doesn't move anywhere, but she's around like other crystals and where the bones are, where I can see her. It's kind of like a kid. Like I have to have her where I can see her.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So so the women are in the office, and then the kids are in the playroom where I can see them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what would make something, so a lot of, things in Hollywood are like, oh, well, demons possess dolls and all, that's, so like, what would make a spirit bind to a doll? I mean, I know, is it just the same as it would any other object? Like, maybe like a vanity set or a piece of furniture? Like, is it the same thing that binds them to a doll?
Yeah. So you already know, like I had a jewelry box that came with a spirit. Yeah, so it's basically a spirit will attach itself because they loved it. They loved the doll so much. So, and it's not like they're possessed to it. They literally, so imagine the doll and imagine the spirit just holding on to the doll.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's literally how the spirit acts.
Right. Okay.
So wherever the doll goes, the spirit goes with the doll.
Okay, just like a kid would carry it around.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I know like one time my grandma brought home like a nightstand or something like that, and she had like some of my old dresses like in a room from like childhood, and the dress kept moving around, and it was because it was a little girl spirit that was attached to this nightstand, and the little girl liked the dress. So she said, if you stop moving it, I'll leave it out. If not, I'm going to zip it up and put it away. And that appeased the spirit. She just wanted to see the dress because it was a little girl and she liked it. So I always tell people, like, I don't, like, spirits come to me, but I'm not really, like, trying to, I have mediumship capabilities, but I'm not trying to mess with human spirits. I mean, there's enough humans on Earth that I had to mess with. So,
fun.
They come to me. I treat them like people, but some people are so like disrespectful to them, right? So, or just because they seem intimidating, they're like, oh well, they're mean and all this stuff. And it's just like when I went to that Columbia, Pennsylvania, not not the other country because I went to both, but I went on that investigation with Above and Below Paranormal. The guy that was in the attic that everybody was afraid of, they gave him an offering and he was fine after that. His story had been told wrong all the time. So spirits are just like people. Like they're not always inherently mean, but maybe they're unhappy with the way they're being talked to, even in spirit life.
Yep.
So you can't judge a spirit based on its actions right away. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, there's some things like the guy in Poplar Grove that we encountered.
Yes.
He was super grumpy. He was just a dick. But
It was a dick.
I mean, like
But so
everybody.
funny. Yeah. So I remember when I told, this is how I met Emily at Poplar Grove. So she was telling a story, and then the lady, the ghost lady, was like, no, you're saying it wrong. This is not what happened. And then she kept showing me the image. And then I was all like, can I retell the story? And then I told the story, and then she's like, that makes sense. Like everything you just said makes sense. And then she's like, calm down. She's like, I have so many questions. And then Jake's like, great, this is date night. You're not really working. And that's how we became friends. But yeah, a lot of spirits do get mad when people do tell the stories wrong. And it's okay to correct it, because like, I get it. Like people, what is it? Like the thrill sells, like, but
Yeah.
it's like, it's ethics, bro. Like that's integrity. Like,
It's still a person. The thing that, that makes a human is the soul, besides genetics, obviously. But,
Yeah.
but like I think our essence is what differentiates us from, I guess I'm kind of like an animist. So I think a lot of things have souls that people don't think have souls or spirits. So, but if you die, like that's you, like whatever that spirit is, it's you, even if you reincarnate into like a crystal or a mushroom or a dog or a cat. Do you know what I mean? Like you are that's still you. So if you ever lost anybody and you kind of encounter a spirit that's like mean, quotes, right? Ask them what their problem is, like, why are you mean? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that something happened to make them that way, just like people, just like people when they're living, nobody's born like that. So, but I had a problem with that going through Waverly Hills when everybody was afraid of like the shadow beings. Oh, the shadow beings. And I used to be afraid of shadow beings too. But then it occurred to me like the shadow beings that I encountered there were just kind of like residual, like, because it literally looked just like people moving through work in the hospital. So, but people are so afraid of them. Are shadow beings, have you encountered many shadow beings?
So yes, I have. But my shadow beings, when I do encounter them, is when I'm at my lowest. That's when I encounter them.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Because when my husband left initially, I hadn't seen shadow beings in a while, and there's the one spirit that lives here, and she's chill. Like she forgets she's dead sometimes, so she does the whole, like, she acts like residual in loops, but then she's like, oh shit, like she realizes it sometimes, like, because those timelines like intersect or overlap.
Yeah.
And it jars them, and then sometimes they slip back into it because it's just their natural state of being. But she got super active that night, and I was like, what is going on? And then I started seeing like the shadow beings happening, and then some other strange things started happening, and then I worked through it. But yeah, the shadow beings do kind of come when we're at our lowest, and I don't know if it's because they are like low vibrational entities, or it's almost like that energetic, like almost like when something happens, like almost when trauma happens and you're more aware. If you're at your lowest, you tend to sometimes like your other senses kind of take over.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if we're just seeing more, not necessarily that these things are evil or bad.
No, when I do see them, I'm like, I have to check myself though. I had to be like, all right, where are we?
Am I the problem?
No, because my history with shadow beings, like I'm literally at my lowest, is like,
Yeah.
where am I? Because like I remember when I saw my shadow being, like I think it was like after I had Alex, and I had it's funny because I had suffered from postpartum anxiety, and I was like, hey, then I got diagnosed with ADHD because I thought I was depressed, but then the doctor says, no, you're not depressed. You have ADHD and OCD. And I was like, oh, yay. Yeah, that was fun. So yeah, that's when I noticed that a lot of my shadow beings were that. So
They're super weird.
Yeah, I have to check myself though. I really have to check how I'm feeling when I start seeing them because I'm like, all right, whoa, like, where's Crystal at?
Yeah, it's interesting, and not a lot of people choose to interact with them.
I don't because I have to be careful about that.
Yeah, a lot of people are because, like you said, when you have them, the first time you encounter them, it's usually like scary or something's going on in your life. So I had them when I was little.
Honestly,
so I mean,
so it's funny that you say scary because when I saw my shadow being, I was going through so much emotionally. I literally looked at the shadow being. I'm not even kidding you. I literally said, I don't even have time for you right now. If you want to kill me today, go ahead and do it. Like,
right. But I'm talking like the first time you saw a shadow being.
That was what I said the first time I saw one.
So you hadn't seen them. When is the first time you saw one? So you
After
were older
I had
when you saw. Okay. Yeah. So I was little when I saw mine. So I was just like, demon.
No, that was the first time I saw one.
So you had your spiritual knowledge already at that point. You had so much. So like if you're unexperienced with it, it's going probably to be scary. And I think it's more like the unknown factor than it is the actual being, because it's when you step into like your own like sovereignty as a spiritual being and a magical being, you do that. You're like, you get to a point where you're like, okay, what? And what? Like,
yeah. It was so bad though.
I don't care. Yeah.
It was so bad because I was literally at that limit. I looked, I remember it was standing right at the doorway. I was like at the foot of my bed by the doorway. I was laying down and I saw it and I said, hey, if you're coming to kill me today, and I was like, all right, I don't even care.
Come here, daddy.
I was like, I don't even care. I was like, I'm at my limit. I haven't slept. Yeah. I'm done. Like, I don't even care.
Yeah. I might be like a very small majority of the population, because I would see them when I was little, and that was scary. But finally, like when I finally embrace like myself as a magical being, I know that sounds super dramatic, but because just energy worker is probably the simplest way to put it of what I am. But it's like once I stepped into that power and sovereignty in myself, I was like able to say, okay, well, you can go ahead and go fuck yourself. Like, I'm not in the mood for you, or, or what do you want? Like, because I don't think that they're bad. Like, if they're so bad, why are they just standing around?
Yeah,
what I mean?
No, and I agree. I just didn't give a shit.
It's kind of like Hatman, right? Like Hatman doesn't attack people. He just stands there and acts like a creep.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what are you doing?
But like, are we talking to him? Do you know what I mean? Like, like I finally got past that recently where I'm just like, what are you? What do you want? And everything's fine now because I interacted with it. But sometimes they just kind of like hover around and you're like, most people are not going to be okay with that.
When I was little, a lot of my monsters, like a lot of the weird stuff were literally like actual monsters. Like the only vivid thing that I would have that were like kind of questionable was that I would always see monsters like I would always see Frankenstein, Pumpkinhead, like weird stuff coming out and just walking in the streets where nobody was out. It was like the most weirdest shit ever when I was a kid. It's one of the vivid memories that I still have. Every time I would look out the window and it'll be dead as night and nobody would be out. It won't even be Halloween or anything. And I would see it walking these like in a line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is that? But I would just be like, that's weird.
Yeah, it's not scary, it's just weird. So that I think that is a non-human intelligence then.
Don't even tell me, Priscilla. I don't care.
No, it's not like it could be something else, because we're so set on like these spirits are either dead animals or they're dead us, and that's it. Like
Don't even tell me about aliens. I don't care. I don't care. That was
I'm fighting with the aliens right now. I mean, the aliens are not talking because it's like, bro, just making things up. Like, I'm mad at the aliens right now. So, but there are other things. There's all sorts of other things. And we've grouped it into angels, demons, human spirits, right? If you're following Judaism. Or, it's like there's only these types of beings. And that is such a new way of thinking. So there's things here that are older than us. And they might be presenting themselves as is. And then our brain's like, sweet, pumpkin head, because it's the only thing that our brain can register.
Yeah.
And I say this to people about UFOs. Like they are presenting themselves as their form, whatever that is. Like, this is what I am. And then our stupid little brains are like, oh, let's throw something together because I've never seen that before. So for you as a little girl, it would be like famous monsters.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like I literally was like, I think I was about 7 or 6. I remember looking out, and they would always go to my grandmother's house. Bandit. Sorry, I'm like yelling at this dog because I'm afraid he might go potty in the house.
Are you trying to get Jake to come get him?
Yeah, I am. I'm like, take Bandit out.
Yeah, I
like,
could see your text
right
message in your glasses.
I am.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, text Bandit out.
You might as well just put,
I am.
Yo, hey, Jake. Jake.
No, can you take Bandit out before he goes potty, please?
No, we all know.
Everybody knows now. I can't do it.
Oh, we're dying. Okay.
We're all family now. Everybody in here.
Yeah, everybody in that.
Everybody in here.
If you're here and you're still listening, you're definitely family.
You're definitely family now. Hi. This is why the universe says that Priscilla and I are just not allowed to live near each other.
Oh my gosh. That would be very bad. But it'd be fun, but I think that our husbands would like lose their shit. So, because every time I'm trying to tell Logan about something that we're like laughing about, he's like, "You guys aren't funny. You leave Jake alone." And I'm sure Jake.
Oh my God, he's like Team Jacob. We're not talking about Twilight.
Oh, gross. We don't say that word on here. We don't like vampires that sparkle.
Oh my God.
Anyways, we're not talking about vampires tonight. We're talking about ghosts and now non-human intelligence. So what is your thoughts on that? Like, this thing is like non-human and it's just like itself, and we're idiots because we've only seen what we've seen. And our brains are like, because that used to happen with spiders. I would see all sorts of weird spiders that I try to Google as an adult and they don't exist. And they would like, there was this white one and it had like a red happy face. And I was like, oh, it's such a nice little spider. And I was like playing with it and everybody's like, what the hell are you talking to? Like, this spider. And then of course they're gone. So like, I think it could be like some of us are being visited by things that are not human.
Yes, that's so crazy. Yes, because when I was little, I would always tell my mom that it never fails. I would always have these nightmares. I do this because like my mom tells, like she would gaslight me. Like she would always say that I would have these nightmares, and she would always say that these nightmares that I would have, the monkeys would terrorize me at night. And I remember the monkeys very vividly. They would always come out like in the walls.
Oh my gosh, that's horrifying.
Yes, they would like freak me out. They would always come out and they were so loud. And then there would be this big ass lion that would come out of nowhere and he would like scare all the monkeys. And then he would come and land on my lap. And then I would like pet the lion, and then I would be able to go to sleep. And then every morning I would tell my mom about the monkeys, and then tell my mom about the lion. And my mom would be like, oh, that was a good dream. I'm like, no, it wasn't a dream. It actually happened. Because I would cry all the time and tell my mom about these monkeys. And every time my mom would come in the room and she'd be like, there's no monkeys. But I would always see the damn monkeys.
Yeah, it's super weird. I mean, and I totally understand it, because with me, it was dolls. Isn't that funny? Because you like dolls.
Oh, that's
And
funny.
now I'm not afraid of dolls. Like now I'm not really afraid of a lot now.
I don't give a shit about monkeys.
Yeah. Monkey right in its little. Just kidding, guys. On Quantum Witch
We love
Cafe, we do
monkeys.
not condone violence against animals. I swear, I mean this. But if
We
they're
support
demon
monkeys.
monkeys, you got to do what you got to do. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But don't get me started on demons either. We're not talking about demons tonight. So these things appear, and sometimes they also are mirrors of our worst fears, right? These entities, these non-human intelligences, and this is not human ghosts because human ghosts act a certain way. And are you having activity in your house right now?
That's Jake cleaning up Bandit's potty.
So, like I said, demons. So it was just, yeah, they are almost. They also mirror like our desires and our fears, right? So it's just strange that that happens in UFO land too. Like these craft appear to people as themselves, and we're just like, oh, cigar shape, oh, saucer, oh, that one UFO that my mind made up. So it's interesting that the entities do that as well, because you think of all the different types of things that people see. Some of it's just weird. It could be like a monkey coming through a wall, or it could be like some like weird elf looking thing.
Yeah, and so it's also like how also that's how dreams work. So here's the thing that I have learned about dreams. So like yeah, dreams can have like different meanings, but personally for me, so as a psychic medium myself, I work in my dreams, and when I work in my dreams, a lot of my nightmares are like low vibrational hits, and my nightmares are like scary movie nightmares, like actual like scary movie nightmares. And that's like how low vibrational entities will appear as scary movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is so, and it's so funny though, because I like during this like season, I have rarely watched scary movies. And I make it a point to not watch scary movies during the season. And if I do watch a scary movie, it's like I'm watching Beetlejuice because I like that movie. And it's not like scary because I love Michael Keaton. But like I will also watch Lost Boys, and not scary. Also, because I watched it the other day. But I watch like The Craft because it's not like gory scary.
Yeah,
That's like
the low vibrational ones get super gory, like unnecessarily, like
yeah.
almost like
So
one of
like
those
during this
like
time,
overdone horror films.
I know. And sometimes during the season, like during like when the veil is so thin, I will not watch any type of like scary movies because I know I know that like that's how low vibrational entities will like fuck with my mind. So I'm like, no, not gonna. I've learned my lesson. I literally learned my lesson.
Yeah, they try to use that against you because again, it's what you've seen that allows you to make these images, and sometimes it's something you haven't seen, but most of the time, like your brain will like try to make sense of it, and if that vibration is depicting some like chop shop, like Rob Zombie House of Horrors shit, then it's gonna come into your dreams. Because I've had that happen after art, and when I had like really bad anxiety and depression, I had a dream that I was pushing him in a shopping cart through like Rob Zombie, like House of Horrors type thing. And I'm like covering his eyes, and this voice goes, "It's all right. He already saw. He's already fucked up." I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
Dude,
this is
it's
I just had a
wild.
baby." Like the stuff that you'll like, the nightmare is a different kind of nightmare. I'm telling you guys, like it's not just like, those are astral attacks, right? So
yes, it's so bad. Like it's so fucking bad. I'm sorry, but it's so bad. Like it's so bad.
so what do people do? Like I know my advice of what I tell people to do when they get astral attacks, but what would you tell somebody? Say you're in the shop working and somebody comes in and they want to work with you and they want to talk about getting either entity visits in their sleep that are scary or harrowing, or also like entity attacks or psychic attacks in their sleep. Like what would you tell them to do?
I'm kidding. No, I wouldn't do that. So what I've been doing is that I've been working like with I don't know. I've been helping like I've actually been telling them to work with having them like sleep with, what is it, black obsidian underneath their pillow or shagite underneath their pillow. That's what I've been doing, because when I can't sleep, or I would sleep with hematite underneath my pillow. But I also do like a shield. I will literally do like a freaking shield, or when I did a spell jar for myself. I'm not even gonna play. Like, I literally pulled a piece of my hair.
Yeah, I mean, there's something weird. I mean,
yeah, I did a piece of my hair and I did a spell jar because I was like so terrified. I did like a piece calming spell jar, and I worked with angel light. And I called down archangels to protect me in my sleep, because I was like, I cannot sleep. I'm having these weird entity attacks. Oh,
yeah,
and
I
I
mean,
remember the archangel book, the 72
oh,
archangel books,
the newer one, or
the 72 archangel the archangel book.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that one is really good if you're looking for a good
it's
angel
really
magic book.
good.
It's not like, I don't know, it hasn't been, I don't want to say light washed. I don't know how to put it. Like, you know how some are just like over the top, like Love and Light. Like,
I
bro,
like it.
I mean, no, that one's not. I'm saying, like, I mean, like, for example, like there's like angels are not like the little sweet cherubs walking around. Like Archangel
Some of these
Michael.
angels you would consider like fallen angels too. Like they're,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
still helpful.
Oh, I'm
But I'm just
sorry.
saying, like,
Well, I mean, because I've known. Yeah, you know what? Don't.
no, I'm just saying, like, the people that are like, okay, like, think about like the angel statues that you see in like Goodwill.
Oh yeah.
That's what people think. Like, angels are not like, they are sweet, don't get me wrong, but they are powerful.
So
And
like these angels that I work with have their own mind, and they think for themselves, and
yes, yes.
they literally will help and protect you when asked. That is their job. So that's what I do. I literally will provide, like, if somebody comes to me at the shop and they're like, hey, I need help, and I will tell them like, hey, this is what I do and this is what you can do. I give them a book and I have them do their homework. I don't do their homework. They do their homework. That's what I do.
Yeah, and that's the best way to do it, because people will
Yeah.
call us up as witches and say, like, I need you to do this and that.
I don't got time for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I try to tell people what they can do. I mean, obviously in extreme cases, if somebody needs something, I'll do it. But
No, I don't do that.
people need to like put their own, it's gonna work better if you do it yourself. You know what I mean? Especially, and that's one
only
thing,
for
like,
you, Priscilla. Only for you.
only for you, and you know that. So
You know.
so like I just want people to know that, like, when you work with angels, like, it's very intense and too, like, because I used to do a lot of angelic magic was the first one that I stepped into, and I was being taught it by an angel. So it was also other angels trying to get in the mix that are, you know, like, because the fallen angels are here with us too. So you just have to kind of clarify, like, what are we doing here? What are you trying to teach me if you are contacted with by one? But
It's all about education and reading. Reading
read,
is
yeah, you have to do your research, because there's not going to be one person, like you cannot rely on like TikTok or Instagram or YouTube shorts to teach you everything, especially when you're these entities are ancient. They're freaking angels. Like read, don't just read the Bible, read angels, the depiction
book.
of quote angels and in
Oh.
other religions too. So it's not to be taken lightly, but is very, very powerful when you do use it. So
Yes.
just a little, you know, like, you have to be responsible when you're doing this. Another thing that I've learned recently is a lot of people are using angelic and like angelic seals that are like, the reason these entities are acting out is because the sigils for these beings, both fallen and not fallen, are sealed. Some don't like that. Imagine like being summoned and saying, like, come clean my house, but you got to wear like a bar with handcuffs or something. So, you know, like the Solomon seals, like the seals of Solomon.
Yeah.
Sometimes an entity that appears quote unquote demonic is only acting like that because it's sealed. it feels like it's being enslaved. And the same thing will happen with angels. Angels are a little more chill about it. They're like, cool, you're afraid of me, got it. Like, it's a respect thing. Like, you want to make sure that I'm not going to wild out. I don't know. But the fallen angels specifically don't like to be sealed like that. So that's where a lot of these crazy experiences are happening with people. Like, you can help me, but you have to wear a ball and chain. I want this from you, but it's a condition that you're placing on it. But the 72 angels of magic, the archangel ones, the non-fallen angels are a little more chill about it. But if you're traveling into like the other side of the angelic realm, it's that's why people have these like horrible experiences. I mean, that's just been my experience with it.
I'm sorry?
That's just been my experience with it, and I've heard other people say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that? Have you ever worked with unsealed sigils, or do you normally keep them? Now we're getting to the witchy stuff, guys. Like, so.
I feel like I've been okay.
Yeah.
I
mean, it works differently for everybody. I'm just saying, like, some of the experiences that, like, I'm being told about and why it's happening to certain people. Like, oh, don't work with this one because this will happen. Do you know? So
yeah. So I don't know what happened to them, but I'm okay.
Yeah,
I feel like I learned my lesson when I messed up on a certain situation, and I feel like I'm treading really lightly and doing my best. So
yeah. That book is talking about the 72 archangels of magic. Those seals are good. Like, I've worked with those too.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a book called Angels of Fury.
I have not done that, and I don't think I'm going to do that in a while. So I'm okay.
No. I'm just saying, like, you read everything. Like, I'm not mad at anybody, but like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's just, I read a lot, and I have read a lot of, like, I'm just reading in different areas of the occult. So, but that's something interesting that I discovered within the past 4 months that somebody was saying that made sense. I'm like, oh, well, these ones don't like to be bound. And people are like, well, of course they don't want to be bound. They want to possess you. What is the almighty spirit going to do, like, with your little meat suit, honestly?
That's so weird. Why would they even, like, that's common sense, though.
I don't know. It's just because I was asking, in my own magical practice, okay, like, well, why are some people having this outcome and some people have this other outcome? And it comes down to, like, even on the archangel side, some of them don't like to work if you have them sealed and bound, which makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, come hang out, but you got to wear a ball gag, or something. So it's just an interesting perspective that I just became aware of. And it explains a lot of why things don't work out for people sometimes. But the 72 Archangels of Magic, that author, all the books are pretty good, I would say.
Well, my angels have been really good for me, so I'm okay.
Yeah, that book's a good one. I have the same one.
Okay.
Yes. So that was kind of like a wild card, guys. We went down the angel wild card. Does anybody have any questions?
Way to go, Priscilla.
I mean, out. 80 untreated ADHD.
Way to go to make it weird. Way to go to make it weird.
I always love to make it weird. You know that.
You gotta make it super weird.
I know. Somebody's like, you were like love and light when you had Crystal and Stone, and that's all you. I
was like, you're all love and light.
I don't know, man.
Love and light.
Some people go into the gray.
Yeah, people need to respect them.
So we have a comment. It says that talking about angels, they are powerful and you can't go on how they look either. Pazuzu is a powerful one. Angels can get unprepared in trouble. Get the unprepared in trouble. People need to respect them in their power. Like, these are the dudes that have leveled cities. I'm looking at you, Uriel. No, not you. I was talking to you. I'm just saying. No, you looked up. You thought I was. I was saying, like, some of these angels have leveled cities. Like,
I was all like, not talking about last time because
Yeah, the last time Crystal leveled a city. Oh my gosh, it was so hard. It's so hard to.
I leveled my own city. I leveled my own city. Okay, so
All right. Well, the ADD has set in for both of us, guys. Get your questions in before we go down even weirder rabbit holes because it's that time of the show. It's like 1 hour and we're just like I had a guest on and right before I kept pressing buttons and it was like pulling me out of the backstage area. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't stop pressing these buttons. And I'm just like, I'm going to put my keyboard under. And then he started doing it because he has ADD too. So me and this guest were just like popping in and out backstage, like the pre-show behind the scenes. I was like, okay, we cannot touch buttons tonight because what the hell is wrong with us? But I feel like we're getting to that level, guys. So Crystal, is there anything you didn't? You can tell this is my friend and not a normal guest, guys. That is not true. I feel like I get weird. Like, I don't know. Is there anything you didn't want to? Is there anything that you want to talk about that you didn't?
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I'm like trying to scoot closer. I'm like, I'm moving my chair. Shit, I forgot now. I looked at the damn fat cat that just moved.
Oh yeah, she's got all her animals like surrounded by her feet.
Dude, I know. So weird. Fuck, what was I saying? So I have oh my god. So the Pride
So what do you have coming up? I have your link tree in the description.
Yeah.
So link tree is in the description with all the stuff.
So please go ahead and give a follow to my Instagram. I'm trying to grow that. I'm really on TikTok. I mean, TikTok is fun and stuff, but like I should be there more often. I don't know what it is. I'm hardly ever on there.
It's like a playground. You just like go and then have fun and then you come back to
it. I don't know what it is. Like I don't know. You can find me better on Instagram than on TikTok. So go follow me on Instagram. Yeah. So also making big moves over here in Texas. I have big exciting news to come. So be sure to follow me on Instagram. I don't want to say it here because everything's still growing. So,
yeah, follow her Instagram. It's all in the link tree. It's also in my story. I have her tagged under the Visitation podcast. Is your Instagram?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my Instagram handle. What do I think? Are you talking to me? What do I think about prayer?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
It's a sin. I'm just kidding. No, it's not. I pray all the time. No, yeah, I really do.
That's the only reason I'm wearing that, guys. It's holding the horns down.
Look, bro, like it's so funny though. Like everybody thinks that like I work in a metaphysical shop and I'm always dressed so like bright and everybody's all dressed in black and I'm always the one being like super bright and pink. That's literally like me. Prayer to me is just like I pray every morning, every day. Prayer to me is just like some like a ritual to me. So
is prayer non-denominational, would you say?
Is what?
Like is prayer non-denominational? Because a lot of people think of prayer and they automatically think of church and Christianity, but prayer is not necessarily always that, right?
Yeah, so people think like relate it to like religion and stuff and to non-denominational. I don't know. I don't put labels on it. I sound like a boyfriend. I don't put
That's
labels.
What I'm saying. Like stuff. It doesn't hold like the act of prayer isn't owned by one specific religion or belief system.
I don't put it that way.
Everything, right? So
yeah, I actually sound like an old boyfriend of mine. I don't want to put labels on this. Yeah. I just feel like it belongs to everybody.
No, it does. I agree.
Yeah, and to me, prayer is like a spell. It really is. I just did one earlier.
There's even spell books based on like the
Yes.
Book of Psalms, and those ones are
I love those.
they got a little bite to them if you're looking for
You
good
know
stuff.
what's so funny? People, oh my gosh, people always say like, "Oh, the Bible is so it's so holy, it's so great." It's like, yeah, do you know it's full of spells? I want to show you somebody. I'm gonna
I
see
could
if I
take
can
it
grab
even
him.
weirder, but I'm not going to in the Bible. But
Huh?
I'm just saying, like, the Bible's got some pretty metal stuff in it.
Come here.
He doesn't
Stop.
want. Oh wow, she's wrestling a lion.
I know, right?
Oh my god, she's got the cat out. He's just like, I said no. Look at that belly. How much does he weigh? We're looking at a cat now.
Oh, stop.
Oh, honey.
I don't know. Probably about 20 pounds. I don't know.
Least.
I lie. I don't know how much he weighs now.
He's at least 20 pounds
He's at least.
on a skinny day. Oh, I love him. I still don't have a cat. Why don't I have a cat?
You want him?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, come on.
We can zoom him in closer.
You would never give that cat away. You love that cat so much.
He's Jake's cat.
Jake, I'm coming to steal your cat. I know you're lurking. I heard your creaky feet back there somewhere.
Oh, God, he's like, he wheezes every day. You know,
it's the pain. It's the fat on the.
Look, carrying him, it's like a weight. He's like
winded.
so heavy.
That's the arm workout. Carrying the cat.
It's so heavy. Golly, it's like a whole like workout.
Jen knows. Jen was actually in Colombia with me. Like,
see,
the
she
country.
knows it. Yeah, Scripture says a prayer, blessed or curses in the tongue. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jen says prayer is a spiritual thing for everyone. Scripture says the power of a blessing or curse is in the tongue. This is true. And she says, haha, too, because yeah, I mean, like, some of the weirdest stuff I read is in the Bible.
Hey, Donnie, Jennifer loves you too, just so you know. You have one fan.
You have 2 homes to go to, Donnie, when you run away from home. I need a cat. Okay, anyways. So you can find Crystal and all her stuff in the link tree in the description. Go to Instagram first, because that's where she's going to post the most updates. And I feel like Instagram's usually people's like update system. You know what I mean? Unless you have like, I feel like TikTok's kind of like fun. Instagram's like business. Twitter's just like a scary amusement park.
Yeah, I don't have Twitter. I try to get on Twitter. I just like, I
have the most followers on Twitter, but I just, in UFO land, I don't know what it's like in psychic medium land. But X, sorry. Yeah. On X, it's like UFO land on X is super wild right now. I don't know if it's like that in other communities, but for UFO stuff, like, it's just like a scary haunted house that's not cool. Speaking of, it's haunted house season, and I don't have anybody to go to the haunted houses with. So if you're in Baltimore and you want to take me to a haunted house, please. I want to go in a corn maze. I want to get scared.
Me too, Priscilla. Me too.
I want to get chased by masked men and run from them. And then I want a Halloween date, and my husband is not here.
It's like too much to ask. It's like too much to ask. Jake and I are going to go to a Halloween party. Yes, I'm going to go as Yoshi. Can you believe it? I'm going to go as Yoshi.
Yoshi?
Yes.
Like Mario?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have to see this. I'm basically going to do this with fangs. I'm going to be myself.
Yeah. So, so it's actually a fan. So how Yoshi happened. Let me tell you a story. So I have 2 young kids. I have a 5-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. And this is like my son's year to pick the costumes. Last year as my daughter, we went as Sleeping Beauty, and I was obviously dead Maleficent because like I'm morbid. So this year's my son picked Super Mario. So my son is Super Mario. My husband's Luigi because he's tall and lanky. And my daughter is going as Princess Peach, and I My son chose Yoshi. Literally Yoshi.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah. That's my job because I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna be carrying one of them.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I get to go trick-or-treating alone with the kids this year. So
What are you gonna be?
I'm gonna be either I have my mask, so I'm either gonna be Ghostface.
Is that the jeweled ghost face?
Yeah, no, this is what it looks like in the movie, right?
Oh, I didn't know it was bejeweled.
Yeah, I got a bedazzled ghost face, or I'm gonna be devil, or I'm gonna be a vampire. I think tomorrow for the trunk or treat, I'm gonna do vampire. I mean, I already have everything, so
Nice. Yeah.
yeah.
So you'll see some pictures.
My kids won't do group things. I tried to do a group thing last year, and Arden didn't want to participate because my husband was Oogie Boogie, I was Sally, my littlest was Jack, the Pumpkin King, and like my other son was just like, no, he wanted to be Ghostface last year, and then I don't know what happened. I think the mask got donated or something. So we can't find the mask anywhere, but
Yeah. Well, we're going as family thing, so you'll see some pictures.
Yeah, I need to see you as Yoshi.
Oh
I can't quite picture it.
Yeah, so we're going to the Halloween party. One of my friends is I haven't been to a Halloween party, so it's gonna be really fun. Oh, but get this, the Halloween party that I'm going to, funny thing, the house, I have to go early because the people want me to go investigate the house. It was a murder suicide.
Oh my gosh. See, some people get all the fun. I'm gonna be evading fucking tweakers in Baltimore trying to get the kids.
It happened in the 90s too, so it's super freaking new, bro. So
eclectic.
Excited. So excited.
That sounds like fun. See, get me out of here and with some spooky people so I can have fun too, is all I'm saying. Okay, spooky people in Baltimore.
You could be here, bro. You could be here.
It's hot. It's hot in Texas.
Hey, but you know what? We're supposed to have a winter storm hitting in Sunday.
Oh my gosh. I'll be like out there like the ice queen, just like in a tank top. The first day it hit 50 here, I'm like walking around in my like workout outfit, and everybody's like, "You're not cold." I'm like, "It feels freaking great."
When you were sick?
No, I wasn't sick.
No, remember when you were sick? You had a fever and you were walking out. I think you were where? I forgot.
Alaska.
No, you were in Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember because you were really sick.
That was when I had COVID.
Yeah.
That we're in the ice storm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a different situation. This was just like happy because it was cold.
Crazy.
All right, well now we're just hanging out, guys. So go find her on Instagram. Thank you for being patient with the ADHD today. I don't know what the hell happened. But we love you. And I am having my next guest will be on the 2nd, part 2 with Vampire Jack. We're going to be talking vampire magic. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. And if you like to get weird with magic or you like vampires, I mean, last time, like he had so many people in the chat and they were having fun. So if you want to have fun and do something different, come join me on the 2nd of November for that. And Crystal, are you going to do any appearances or do you have any new podcasts being released?
Not right now. Everything's kind of slow moving.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for everybody listening now or later. And thanks for your patience and appreciating the weirdness that always happens on this show. But we love you. Have a good night. Have a safe trick-or-treating and Halloween. Watch out because sometimes there's church pamphlets inside your kids' candy. You want to make sure to look for these sorts of things. Have a great night.
Bye.